Okay. Just really impressed with how ready Kim had his guys here. I mean, coming off of that just a excruciating loss they have at home. Just speaks to I think just Kim's quality as a coach, and a lesser coach and a coach that wasn't going to be a star in this business doesn't come in here with his team as ready as he had his team to play today. Coming off the loss they had over the weekend and the way that transpired. So just tip of the cap to Kim. The guy's going to be a star in this business. The guy's a brilliant young coach, and I thought he did a great job of having his team ready. For us, they're obviously, when you've won a bunch in a row and you have the record that we have, and I continue to come in here somber. There's areas, with this team that just feels like on any night, it's just something's letting us down. And, tonight it was just, we got saved by the center play. Obviously was a huge positive. I think that's the potential that those two guys can give us, on a nightly basis. I think we got to get those guys the ball more. Obviously, we got to play Eric more because he had a huge impact on the game. And then the only, obviously I thought Silas, if he doesn't get in foul trouble, the game is probably a little bit different. But again, he found his way to it again, and that really hurt us. But I thought the story of the game for us was Malachi being back. Just having Malachi back does so much for us. And again, it's like, on a night where Alex he goes 3 for 14, Solo goes 5 for 18, Jalen goes 0 for 3, and Jaden goes 0 for 1. It makes it, tough to win, but, the centers were awesome. Malachi was back, and when Silas was on the court, he was obviously a huge factor. So.
Dan, Eric and Malachi, I think it was 8 and 4 minutes when you went to Providence. What was different about maybe their approach to this game that allowed you to play them more, and how good was it to see more production from the bench tonight?
I mean, Malachi, he just I thought he put himself in horrible positions. I think we put him in horrible positions a couple times when players didn't. When centers didn't run to the ball when things broke down, so we can get into some 5-out action where he had some late shot clock, what the hell's going on again? But I just thought he guarded. He played with a lot of energy. He picked his spots well. He took good open shots. He had a good approach, and we had a conversation with him. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, that we can't do this without you. And if he would have played the way he had been playing today, combined with just some of the other shooting woes we had on, I thought, a lot of open shots. I mean, what's concerning is we're missing we're missing a lot of open shots. But Malachi was that was the positive development with the centers today. And Silas, obviously, but the foul trouble again.
Yeah, I mean, 10-0 in the Big East. I mean, a lot of them have been close, tight games like this, and does that obviously maybe not help you in the metrics, I guess, but does it say something about just the team finding a way and finding different guys like tonight? Malachi and Eric stepping up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's conference games are hard to win. I mean, look at the some of those guys. How many teams in the high major would Sellers start for? I mean, a lot. Jameer Jones, a lot. Vax, a lot. What a guy like Maya, he would play a lot of minutes, destroying people right now. But we're good at winning. I don't know if there's ever been more consternation for a 20-1 team that's won 16 in a row. But it's this is the monster that we created. You know, we've created it recently here at UConn. Obviously, at UConn basketball, you know, the standards are high. I would probably, you know, but the monster that we created was obviously the 23 and 24 teams. The way, especially the 24 team, obliterated people. So everyone wants to see this 26 team play like the 24 team, and we're just not there yet. I think we got a chance to get there.
Coach, in the last 5 games, the bench has averaged 7.6 points per game. Tonight, 26 points off the bench. How important is that just moving forward, especially with a big game at Korean on Saturday?
Yeah, I just thought, you know, again, minutes are the easiest thing to distribute. Like Malachi, you know, coming into this has had a couple rough games where he's played 5 minutes. I think he's played 7 minutes. And magically he played 29-37 today because when he was on the court, we were a plus 14 and he played very well. So, you know, we need Jaden Ross to be more offensive minded. You know, obviously he does a great job for us defensively. But just, you know, like Jalen and Jaden, they have to be more assertive. You know, not everything, like in possessions on offense, like not every shot. I would say that, you know, I don't know what it is. Is it maybe 40% of our possessions where it's something scripted is the shot is taken by the scripted action we're trying to run? So 60% of the time, it's like guys finding their way to the ball or going and making a play, cutting to the ball. So we need Jalen and Jaden to assert themselves on the game. A coach can't assert the player from the bench to be more aggressive on offense. And I just felt like, you know, when they were in the game, I thought they helped us defensively, but you know, they weren't assertive offensively. Is that it for me? Wow, light night. Let me get those.
I just wanted to ask you about the challenge. 2 games in a row, you've had a successful challenge. Silas runs over, he's begging for it. It looked like you had to tell him to like chill out a little bit. Can you just take us through
Who's
that?
this? Who was that, Silas?
I think it was Silas.
Oh, no, we were, he assured me, well, here's the thing. Andrew Hurley is now 2 for 2, all right, the closer. So I don't know, what was his record when he got in games at UConn? 43-0 in games he played in over his career. So now he's 45-0, you know, because he's got the 2 challenges. Now, listen, you know, he was very confident. The last time Andrew did a challenge, I think was it the last game? I saw him on the side going like this, you know, so that scared the shit out of me when I saw him the last game, but he was pretty confident today. But yeah, I mean, I don't, what was the question? Fuck, Joe, sorry.
Actually, I was going to, you don't have a lot of time to kind of get the replay, I think. Do you ever just take your player's word for it? Like, it seems like Alex twice now has come over and insisted that, you know, they should be overturned, and both times he was right.
Yeah.
But you definitely get the replay first?
I mean, players are always, I mean, how many idiots in college are running around going like this? You know, like on shooting fouls and stuff, like modeling the NBA shit's a good idea. But yeah, you know, I'm looking for the tablet. I'm trying to get the tablet, not Alex, because Alex is always saying he's getting fouled or whatever. So no.
Braylon, where
I
does
think he's doing well. I mean, he looked good today. You know, he ramps it up. I think he's gonna, you know, potentially do some things, you know, on the court tomorrow and just see how he's feeling. I think, you know, the symptoms are progressing nicely for him. So obviously we're going to take great care of him. You know, but we'll see. I think, you know, I think he's obviously he's healing well from it.
Was there an issue with Solo? It seems like, was his wrist an issue today at all?
I don't know. He came back in and took probably 10 or 11 more shots. So, I mean, it's a problem. I mean, he's a tough kid. He plays through it. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I just think he's got to try to stay off the floor. You know, just when he drives, you know, and when he does things at the rim, if you don't stay off the floor, you're going to end up like hurting your wrist a lot. So you got to stay off the floor. All right, guys. Thank you.
before game time. It obviously worked. Talk about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get some shots up before. I feel good about the game. I know my team needed me, with Braille and Munns being out, so I wanted to make sure I was ready, and ready to go.
Eric, just what were you feeling tonight? It's been kind of quiet, lately for the bench unit, but you guys came through today, especially you two.
Yeah, I mean, my main thoughts were just to step up and just do everything I can to help the team win and give it like a little boost. And yeah, that was just my mindset going into the game.
This is really for both Malachi and Eric. Obviously the last couple of weeks haven't been a lot of playing time or a lot of production. How do you stay positive and through that and kind of realize that maybe games like this are going to happen down the line somewhere?
I think just staying with each other. He talked to me before the game. Just make sure you're good, ready to bounce back. We've been practicing hard in practice, competing and stuff. So we know the work we put in. We know how much impact we are to the team. So we just want to stay ready, like I said before, and make sure we come out and have a positive impact on the game today.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's all about the team, and you can't get into your own head about your own personal kind of performances. So in the end, it's just all about the team, and we always got to have that in our head as number one priority, and that's how we went into the game.
Okay, how challenging is it to get used to get into a flow with a new offense, especially one that's as unique as UConn's?
It's difficult, just trying to make sure I run the team perfectly, as the coach wants. But like I said before, my teammates give me the confidence. They trust me with the ball, and like I said, my teammates give me confidence. That kind of helps me.
When you go out and you see Eric affect the game that he was able to, immediately, I know that brings a smile to your face, obviously. But what are you thinking when you're watching that on the bench, especially when you're not necessarily having the best night?
I mean, it's really a blessing. I mean, like I said, this guy, he's real special, and to be in the position he's in and just to step up tonight, I mean, he was huge. He's the reason why we won the game. So I feel like just me being older, being a senior, having a young guy like freshman, just so talented, so poised, me being his leader is really special. So just helping my guy E, man, just pouring everything I got into him, and just to see him out there on the court was amazing.
Terrace, can you take me through that steal and that dunk? I don't see you don't get those opportunities very often.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, it was in Scout. I shout out Coach Kamani. I mean, I knew they always run the flare option, especially for the shooter, Vox. So knowing just the flare was coming, try to hide behind the big. As soon as I saw the ball leave his hands, it was go time. So knew I was gonna get a breakaway dunk right there to change the flow of the game.
Malachi, Coach Hurley talked about that he had a conversation with you during the week saying that he needed more for you and that the team was going to need you. Can you tell us a little bit about how that conversation went with Coach?
Yeah, he talked to me before practice. He was like, need me to step up. He asked if I was mentally tough, and I told him yes, coach. And that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence. Shows that this team needs me. Just to impact the game, whether it's on defense or offense, not just scoring. So yeah, we talked about it before practice, and he was just like, just play better. Whatever minutes you get, make the most out of it. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was ready.